Now available in paperback and e-readers, The Temptation of John Haynes. Given to temptation, pick up this action-packed African-American paranormal romance. Get The Temptation of John Haynes in paperback and e-readers today. I've been asked several times, would I take a deal with a production company if they wanted to adapt one of my books into a TV show or a movie? And the answer to that question is yes, I would take a deal with a production company if they wanted to adapt my material, but I would need to see the terms of that deal. Now, I am a publisher of positive African American fiction, and the kind of stories I want to do, I want to present a positive image of Black people. And any production company I got involved with would have to be one that would be willing to, one, respect my source material, and two, make an effort to present positive images of Black people in media. Now, one of the reasons I do not trust the entertainment industry is because a lot of times when the entertainment industry gets a hold of material like mine, they do one of two things. The first thing they do with a project like I write, such as The Temptation of John Haynes, which would feature a Black CEO, is what they try to do is they will try to neuter the character because they want to try to minimize Black manhood and they want to minimize Black masculinity. So a lot of production companies, in order to try to get their projects sold, is they will go out here and try to minimize any Black male character and try to make him appear to be less than. And that's not something I want to see presented with my characters. I don't want to see a strong Black masculine heterosexual Black man like John Haynes turned into a neutered, emasculated beta male on screen, nor do I want to see him turned into some sort of soft, effeminate character, because that's not what I wrote when I was writing The Temptation of John Haynes. No, when I wrote that character, I wanted to show the strength of Black manhood, and the strength of a man who followed Christ, and a man whose example of a Christ-like manhood is so positive that it inspires and uplifts people. That's what the John Haynes character represented in The Temptation of John Haynes, and I would not want to see that message of a man being an example of Christ winding up being minimized or marginalized because some insecure person wants to see a Black man presented as less than. So that's one of the reasons why I am extremely hesitant about dealing with production companies, because they will, again, want to go out here and change a Black male character and try to find ways to minimize and marginalize him. Now, I am also hesitant about getting involved with production companies because I know about the whole concept of adaptation. Now, when you sign your rights for a film or a television show, you are signing for them to adapt your material. And when they go out here and adapt your material, they can make changes to that story because in that film or TV version, they are doing their version of your story. So they can go out here and change elements of that story, and they can incorporate some of their own ideas into that version of the story. For example, with The Temptation of John Haynes, they could possibly say, we want to downplay the Christian elements in the story so that they could appeal to a larger audience. Or they could call themselves trying to include diverse types of characters in an effort to try to pander to other audiences and dilute the message of the story. And in other projects I've done, like Spellbound, they could go out here and try to change many of the characters to either become stereotypes, or they could try to go out here and take away from the message of the whole concept of being spellbound, So that's something that, again, makes me hesitant because, again, in adaptation, they can take the story and then change it to fit whatever themes they want to fit, and they can change the whole overall story and add new characters and add different types of characters in the name of diversity. And they could also go out here and change characters who from one ethnicity to another in the name of diversity. So they will go out here and change a character from a black character to a white character, or they will change a black character into an alphabet character in the name of diversity, even though the character was straight in the book. And that's another thing that has me hesitant because, again, once you go out here and sell the rights to the production company, a writer like myself has no real control over that material once we have gone out here and sold the rights to that material. So once we go out here and we take the offer from the production company as related to adaptation of material and the right and selling the rights to the film and TV of that material, it now belongs to the production company and they have the right to do whatever they please. And a lot of times they will, again, change a lot of the source material because they know that their version is going to be seen as the official version. So once you start to get seen on a larger platform, they're not going to see the version I wrote in the novel as the version. No, they're going to see the version that they see on screen as the version. And that's something, again, that has me hesitant about wanting to sign with a production company, because what will happen is their version will become the version. And if you sign with the wrong production company and they have this what they call social justice mentality, they will go out here and change characters backstories, and they will try to infuse things like identity politics into a story where there never was any identity politics. And they will go out here and try to change narratives of the story. That is another thing that has me hesitant about going out here and selling the rights to my material. Now, another thing that has me hesitant about selling the rights to my material would be having to deal with the whole point of having no say over that material. And one of the things that you do after you've sold the rights to material is the studio is going to hire their screenwriter, and their screenwriter is going to rewrite any material that is out there. That is something I made a point about in my screenplay All About Marilyn, as Marilyn is out here trying to pitch the script for one of her PAs on her TV show, Sell Out. And once the guy gets his script greenlit, the character that Marilyn was going to play, which is going to be a black character, is transformed into a white character years later, played by one of the child actors on the show, Tabitha Strong, who has become a star. And that happens a lot of times in the entertainment industry. You will have a script or a piece of material that is written by a black person, and that script written by that black person was for black characters, but once that script is sold, it's sent to another screenwriter, and that screenwriter then goes out here and rewrites that script and makes all of the characters white. And because the writer has been paid off, they can go out here and make this material as they please, because you signed away the rights as related to adaptation, and they can adapt that material however they want. And that's not a good place for me as I see it, because as part of my mission, I want to create positive stories about the black experience. And I want to go out here, and diversify the black market as related to your book market and as related to the entertainment market. So I want people to see different images and diverse images of black people, and I want them to see a richer, broader picture of the black experience. So I want black people to see more pictures of themselves and a larger picture of the world. So if I went out here and I worked with a production company, I would want to work with a production company, one, that wanted to elevate the black image, and two, I would want to work with a production company that would go out here and would want to go out here and help black actors and black talent be able to further develop their craft. I mean, if I had the money myself, I would be out here hiring some talent out here, because I see a lot of great talented people, like a lot of YouTubers. I know I would love to hire to do music or to go out here and help out with the writing. Lots of talented people, because I would want to see more brothers and sisters behind the camera, and I would want to see more brothers and sisters get opportunities behind the camera, because that's where the real power is. That's another thing that I would want to see on a production that adapts SJS direct material, is I want to see young brothers and sisters getting jobs, and I want to see young brothers and sisters being empowered by my material that not only presents a positive image of black people, but also is allowing other brothers and sisters to get opportunities to work behind the camera. Because ever since I was 17 years old, I have dedicated myself to creating positive black images of black people, diversifying the black book market, and diversifying the black experience by showing you all of those other different worlds, like I did in Spellbound, where I showed you the black goth subculture, the Thetas, where I showed you a black sorority, the Isis series, where I go out here and make a series about an Egyptian goddess or descendant of Egyptian and Nubian goddess and Nubian and Egyptian mythology, the Esteem series, where I show how a person is growing in Christ, or the John Haynes series, which is supernatural action similar to Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Ghostbusters, or other books I have done out here, like A Recipe for Success, which is a romantic comedy about two black-owned businesses. I mean, I want to really give people a rich, diverse picture of the black experience, and I want to build on the legacy of legendary men like Bill Cosby and Robert Townsend and Spike Lee and many others I grew up watching in the 80s and the early 90s. I mean, sitting there during that golden age of black cinema and seeing all of these great, balanced, and humanized black images. This is what I want to build on the legacy of if I did adaptations of SJS direct material, because I want black children to see people who look like them living in a world where they can be anything they want to be, because I grew up in a world where I was told you could not be anything but a hood dude or a street thug. And when I was in junior high school, and the only guys who people respected were drug dealers. And I want to be able to show a world where black people were pushing against these types of narratives back then, because I was one of those people pushing back against those narratives, because I was a comic book guy and I saw many other people out here living different kinds of lives. And I heard from people who live from different kind of lives on the internet, like black goths and many people who were into sci-fi and fantasy. These are the black people nobody wants to talk about, because they don't fit the narratives that the racists want to see, like the loudmouth black woman or the black man who can't get his life together. They want to push these kind of narratives. But when I go out here and do material, if I were to do film and television, I would want to give people a richer, broader picture of the black experience, and I would want to also do it while I was empowering other brothers and sisters behind the camera to have those kind of opportunities to go out here and tell our stories and tell the stories that were never heard. I mean, if I adapted material, I would again want to see our brothers and sisters get empowered behind the camera, and I would want to see images that present us images of strong black manhood, soft feminine black femininity, like I did in my recent ISIS pinup, and give you balanced stories of black people like I do on the SJS Direct imprint. That's the kind of material I want to produce if I were to go out here and produce film and television because I want to see balanced, humanized images of black people, and I want to see diverse stories in different genres than your standard sitcom. No, I want to go out here and make that great black love story. I want to make a great action-packed African American fantasy film, and I would love to go out here and give people a TV series like All About Nikki, and I would love to go out here and give you a very unique Tim Burton-esque type film like a Spellbound or Spinsterella. I mean, I would love to give you very unique films that give you unique black experiences and show you how fantastic it is to be black, how beautiful it is to be black, and how great it is to be black, and how you can live in a world of greatness and you don't have to sit in a box and be this ghetto. You can be anything you want to be. So people have asked me, what would I want to see my material adapted? Yes, I want to see my material adapted. And if I got an opportunity and the terms were right, I would say yes. But the whole thing is, I want to make sure that my material goes out here and elevates the black image and empowers black people, because I've seen too many productions out here where they go out here and buy a black person's material and turn it white, or they go out here and they promote the whole idea of so-called diversity and they water down the black character, or they go out here and they effeminize the black man, they soften the black man, or they go out here and they use black characters to push anti-black agendas. And it would be wrong for me to sit there and take the money and count it while they go out here and create material that goes out here and makes black people into somebody who is less than, and goes out here and socially engineers black people into becoming more and more dysfunctional. So that is something that I really want to really think about, because it's about the image of black people. And when I go out here, I want to present positive images of black people, and I want to, again, build on the legacy of men like Bill Cosby, like Robert Townsend, like Spike Lee, like the Hudlin brothers, and like legendary business owners like John H. Johnson, who created Ebony and Jet magazine. That's what I want to build on with the SJS Direct Imprint. And if I got into other media, I would want to continue building on that legacy. And I would want to go out here and create a wealth of images that would uplift and inspire black people, because that's what I try to do on the SJS Direct Imprint with books like the John Haynes series, the ISIS series, and the E-Steam series. I try to present those balanced, humanized images of black people, because I know you're not going to get those images in mainstream media. And I'm happy to live in an era where I'm seeing more and more brothers and sisters out here, going out here and making their own material. And I really am happy to see that, because we need more and more brothers and sisters to go out here and tell our stories, because if we don't tell them, nobody else will. And if we don't control our media by creating our own narratives, no one else won't. And people now are using their money to create their own media, and they're trying to take control over the narrative. And I'm glad to see more and more brothers and sisters going out here doing that. But if I were to get any sort of deal, yes, I would take it if the terms were right. And that's the whole thing that I am really looking for, are the terms that will ensure that I'm creating positive black media. The people working with me are creating positive black media, and I can go out here and hire other black people, because what good is a black production if I can't put brothers and sisters to work and get their money straight? I mean, that's part of, again, having a business, is you want to be able to get to the point where you can actually put more brothers and sisters to work, so that you can start building a stronger black economy, and all of you can come together to take your money and create a stronger black community. So again, I would love to go out here and do a production or an adaptation of one of my projects, but it's all about the terms, and it's all about giving me terms that will allow black people to continue to be positive and continue to push the mission of the SJS Direct imprint. Now, if you want to see me make more videos like this, you can donate to my Patreon, my PayPal, or my Cash App by clicking the links in the description box. And if you want to pick up some of my positive black fiction on the SJS Direct imprint, like the ISIS series, the E-Steam series, the John Haynes series, and the books of the Smith-Torella trilogy, you can find all those books on Amazon.com in paperback and Kindle format. You can also find them on Smashwords, the iBook Store, and Google Play. That's all I have to say for this video. You can comment, rate, and subscribe. Now available in paperback and Kindle, All About Marilyn. Learn all about the struggles of a faded former teen sitcom star in this absolutely fabulous 5-star screenplay. Get All About Marilyn in paperback and Kindle on Amazon.com today.